with the state capitol. We also have a mom today. She is a pro-life activist. It's an amazing thing for her to be on the bus today with her two little boys. And Allison, will you come forward? She has Aiden with her. Owen may be with Daddy aside now, but it's a big day in your family. But I know that you have stood strong for the sanctity of human life, and we're proud to have you with us today.
Thank you very much. It is a big day in our family. Not only do we have our wonderful son, Aiden, with us, but we also have a birthday in our family, and that's our youngest son, who is turning 1 year old today. Today is his first birthday. And frankly, I could not think of a better way to celebrate his birthday than to come out here today and tell politicians in Washington, D.C. that your votes will have consequences. We the people can change our leaders in Washington. We have that privilege. If we continue to send the same people to Washington, D.C. year after year, my son's future will be in jeopardy from an ever-intrusive government. If we do not act, he will not enjoy the blessings of liberty. He will become a member of a generation that is gripped by government. Like you, I was shocked at how Obamacare would just push through Congress without listening to anyone, and it was just amazing to me. The politicians in Washington just did not care. Our Indiana Democratic leaders did not care. They did not care about your families, they did not care about you, and they did not care about the millions of voices in opposition. It was plain and simple a power grab. But you know what? It's worse than a power grab. Despite their protests to the contrary, this bill will help fund abortions through government taxpayer money that I send to the government. It's just amazing to me. And you know what? You don't really have to look too far to see where this will lead. Let's see. Head of Medicare and Medicaid here in the United States of America, Donald Berwick, he says of the British National Healthcare System, "I am a romantic about NHS. I love it." That's great, Mr. Berwick, but I have a completely different point of view about the NHS. I met my British-born husband in the 9th District. His family still lives under the National Healthcare System. My father-in-law had to have heart surgery. It took him nearly 6 months to be treated. 6 months. Had my stepfather been subjected to that kind of length when he needed heart surgery, my children would have never had a grandfather, ever. And that's what national health care means. Abortion also is readily available under the British system. If we let Obamacare stand, abortions will become commonplace under the national system. We know the President has signed an executive order saying no government money would be used for abortions, but this simply will not stand. In our republic, the President cannot make laws. Only Congress has the authority to do that. If President Obama is saying this will not go for paying for abortions, then he's doing one of two things. One, he is overpromising what his office allows, or two, he is usurping the power from the Constitution. And either way, he is in violation of the documents that found this country and hold us together as a nation. Not only that, he can also just as easily rescind the executive order. He can, any president following him can. Without the slightest bit of notice or fanfare, we could start having government-funded abortions. No, we need to repeal Obamacare and show we need to repeal Obamacare and show that in November that people's voice matters. You know, before I became a mom, I actually spent a little time on the Capitol Hill. And freshman members of Congress always stood out. Why? Because they would actually introduce themselves to other congressional staffers. And you know, after elected members, some of them kind of get what's called Washingtonitis, and they stop noticing people. It's not that this was anything special, but new congressmen understood that staffers were people that needed to be respected and acknowledged as well as the congressman. But pretty soon it goes to their head, and you know, common courtesies kind of go by the wayside, and us poor common staffers don't get any more hellos. Now admittedly, it's a small thing and I quickly got over it, but the reality is, it's telling. It tells you about their character, and that attitude quickly becomes arrogance. You know, I daily teach my children how to be respectful. and that they need to not think so highly of themselves. And if they aren't, okay, just a minute. Just a minute. And what they learn is if they're not respectful to others, they have consequences from mommy and daddy. I think it's about time that Congress starts seeing some consequences, just like our children do when they aren't respectful. And with your help in November, I sure hope they will.